Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on ChessCube, another 5-minute game. Okay, we have a game against 2317 HGCP and then a bunch of numbers. Alright, so knight f3. How can we maybe mix some things up in this game? Okay, the Trompowsky attack. That's certainly different. Okay, that's a good thing. I'm going to react to that with just some establish a pawn in the center, and now how to recapture. I've played this variation before with these pawns staggered in this way, and I'm going to still go with trying to get my bishop outside of my pawn chain. So my doubled pawns, I don't know that that's really going to turn out to be too much of a liability. I do consider my light square bishop to be expendable, so I'm not too worried if it gets captured for if there's a bishop for bishop exchange or a bishop for knight exchange. What do I want to do with this guy? Do I really want to play this advance? My opponent's going to be playing bishop to g2. I'm going to go with knight d7 instead. I want to be able to maintain my d5 pawn if it comes under fire, and I'm anticipating that it will come under fire. So how can I maybe prep that? How about I actually tuck my bishop back? I think eventually the white knight is going to play to h4 anyhow, and so I want to be able to maybe recapture in this direction if that is to occur, and then even maybe play f5 after my bishop has been captured. c6 is another possibility, and I'm not so sure that there's a better square for my bishop than d6, so I think I'm going to be going there next. Other moves to maybe be considering is just kingside castling, although I think I might want to hold off on that for a little bit. Maybe play, is there something with maybe a5, a4? I don't know if I want to play c5 just yet. I want to see how my opponent maybe puts pressure on my d5 pawn. And why is white not moving? What are they considering? Or maybe have they logged off? Hopefully they didn't. What is there to even do on the white side? Just castle, right? Castling is something that you're going to have to do, so you might as well do it right away. Or maybe pawn to c4? Is that being considered right now? What else is there? Connect the knights, knight d2. I don't think knight c3 is a good option at all. You don't really want to obstruct your c-pawn. And it seems as though white has logged off. I'm losing faith. No. Okay, they moved. Okay, so they have not logged off. They were just going into a deep think there. Alright, so what have I accomplished in the meantime with my thinking here? I guess just bishop out and now get ready to castle. I want to reserve this option. That's why I'm holding off on c6 or c5. So let's just castle. If I'm able to open up the c file, my bishop is already in a position where it's striking at that point, and I think I might want to do something that's a little bit ugly looking, and it involves this f5 advance. Really blocks in my bishop, but it comes with the purpose of preventing this pawn advance by white, the pawn to e4. So he looks like a really ugly piece, and maybe I could eventually trade it off somehow. If white plays h4, it may eventually be looking to press h5, and then my bishop would be trapped, but that knight on f3 would have to have first moved so that the white queen could be supporting that h5 square. So certainly something to be aware of. I'm not too afraid of a knight h4 move. Okay, c4, there it comes. I want to support my center and be in the position to recapture in this direction. Recapturing like this would really make my my f pawns really ugly looking. I want to prevent b4, and I'm also looking to clamp down with a4 and make the a and b pawns for white look a little bit awkward. So I'm going to reposition my bishop so that pawn to c4, white's pawn to c5 advance doesn't come with tempo. And that queen move is a bit awkward because I could always do this move. My bishop is doing what? It's hitting the queen, and I'm actually a bit more inclined to be making this move right now, with the follow-up being capturing on e3. And I think it's important to be capturing on that square because, okay, wow. Let's take this first. Okay, so white is in a pin. How can I pile it up on that white e4 pawn? This is my first thought. Do I have any second thoughts? How about maybe playing my bishop here? Okay, I give up my dark square bishop, but my queen would be in a pretty good position. I'm going to go for it. Looking to just exchange some pieces. And what else? I'm just really trying to work on this pin. Okay. Actually, I'm starting to want to hang on to my dark square bishop now. Seeing that there's two pieces of greater value on this diagonal. If e5, I'm going to tuck my bishop back. Maybe I should capture? No. I'm gonna retreat here. Let's see what white wants to do. I'm getting ready to maybe press this move at some point. I'm not quite sure. I want to retain some flexibility here. And I actually, wow, this is very surprising, but I actually am the side who has a time advantage. So I have the bishop pair. I'm not too concerned about knight takes bishop here. And my first thought is to do this c5 advance, but there's additional pressure being placed on d5 because of that knight move. The bishop on g2 is indirectly putting pressure on it. So I could do this move. I don't know what the follow-up would be if the queen just played to c2 to get out of that pin. What else? Actually, how about queen b6? Queen b6 looks like it might be pretty good. I'm going to go for it. Yeah, queen b6 is getting ready to win a pawn on d4. And c5 would be a blunder because of just queen takes pawn. It might be tempting to, let's say, take on that square with the knight, but I don't think that that's best. So, is there anything better than what? What do I want to do here? Okay, white's getting ready to play c5, and that's going to really change the pawn structure, and I'm now all of a sudden having to fight back with time. So I don't know if that was a great decision, queen b6, unfortunately. What about f6? No, I'm not liking f6 either. I'm going to try and tolerate a knight on d6. Yeah, I'm gonna try to tolerate that knight there. And I could maybe get rid of it with my dark square bishop at some point. My bishop could maybe come back there. Okay, let's go here first. So knight on d6 is very deep in my position. I'm not quite sure where it would go to from there, however. I could also think about knight. Okay, I'm going to capture towards the center? Yeah, towards the center. Otherwise, I might have to worry about this guy getting pressure. So I could do one of these, knight b6 to c8 to get rid of a knight that would end up on that square. So let's go with this move first. I'm welcoming a knight exchange. I think I do better. Okay, I think I go with... Let's get my queen here first. I don't know if I want to go with the knight to c8 move. I think my knight's going to be better placed here. I do also have to watch out for my f6 square, so my knight on this square might be a good thing to have. Let's go with this. That actually might be a bit inaccurate. The bishop could take the knight, and now I have to worry about my c7 square. Uh-oh. Well, I'm going to have to work with it. I want to play rook here, I think, followed by bishop f8. That's my plan. Yeah, that's it. That's as far as I'm taking this right now. Okay, let's go with... Yeah, let's go with this move. Yeah. Okay, I want to watch out for... what do I want to watch out for? Okay. Maybe that wasn't the greatest move there for me. Oh, okay, I could just take here and then play my rook to c6. I'm going to certainly have to defend quite a bit, and I'm glad I took a peek at my time because I'm down to 22 seconds. So knight d6, I'm going to play rook c6. Yeah, I'm going to go with this. If rook takes rook, pawn takes rook. If knight takes pawn, then I would play rook b6. I have to defend. I do want to still get my bishop to f8. My bishop to f8, and then get my king closer. I want my king to eventually gobble up the d pawn, and I think I'm going to be able to do that now. My king is just in time. Maybe rook h4. I should be able to win this now. I'm going to be winning a pawn here. Let's go with this actually first. I don't want that rook to get to the 7th rank. I think that was an important move to be making. Now I could just watch my 7th rank and hopefully just move fast. I have to throw in some pre-moves. And I'm going to go after the d5 pawn next. So I have to throw that in and then capture. And actually I should just be going for this. There we go. Another pre-move. This is what do we have? This is gonna be oh wow. Another tight game, down to a second. Okay, that was pretty wild. Let me just go back for a second. What was this? So this was the Trompowsky attack. What else do we have? It seems a bit awkward to do this particular move, but I think it's maybe important. White's getting ready to press forward with that e4. I think just playing f5 to restrain that is purposeful. So that's kind of why I did that. I know my bishop starts to look very ugly, but it could always again get active by way of h5. I don't know what other points there are to make. I think actually my decision to play actually queen to b6 it was a poor one, and maybe even my bishop going back to f6, you know, subjecting it to an eventual e5 with tempo. That's I don't know, that seems maybe like I could have improved in that way as well. And so yeah, queen to b6 is really starting to be a bit troublesome for me. But I guess I was able to defend just in time to be able to get my bishop to that f8 square. I do have to watch out for the white rooks invading on c7, and what else? So we're pretty much just in blitz mode at this point. I know I've been defending for like a series of moves, but fortunately I'm going to be able to play bishop f8 and then win a pawn. And I think this is actually the last point to make really before we just really got crazy, is if I were to have taken, let's say, pawn takes pawn, the white rook could have given check on c7 and then maybe picked off my f7 pawn, and that's something that I kind of just wanted to avoid. So that's why I did the rook b6 move. This is going to assure me just being a pawn up if it were to get to a king and pawn endgame, and then we were just rattling off all these moves and time pressure. But that's all for this video. As always, I hope you're able to take something away from it. Take care. Bye.